course, everyone is talking about what happened on the weekend. Dillian Whyte used Tyson Fury's name a lot, so did Eddie Hearn in the week for that WBC mandatory shot, and then of course Alexander Povetkin knocks him out. What did you make of those events, Frank?
Well, I didn't see that because I've been having singing lessons all week, so I don't want to get overtaken. So I've been having my lessons.
Can you do a bit for us now?
If you insist. Now I'm not as good as the other fella at the singing, but I should give it my best. Ready?
Go on.
Ain't no mandatory anymore. You don't really know more of my voice, do you? It's all over, Rover. What did I think of it? I thought Povetkin showed what he can do. He's a dangerous man, and he took him out in style. But Tyson done a BT interview yesterday, and what he talked about was very sensible. He's talking about levels, and it shows you what the levels are. That was a shot that he got absolutely taken out with. Dillian didn't get off the canvas. Ended 1,000 days of nothing happening as far as the world title is concerned. Most of it down to himself. He should have taken the Joshua fight when he was offered it, but he didn't do it. And his promoter obviously didn't deliver for him as far as the world title is concerned. And then you look at Tyson, who within 6 months of coming back got a world title fight. And in that world title fight, he got hit by the most concussive heavyweight in the last 20, 30 years and got off the canvas. And that is the difference.
Those are the words of Frank Warren as he recites, as he practices, as he slyly boasts. It's all over now. No mandatory anymore. I've seen this coming, and this is exactly what I've been talking about when in regards to guys that were on eggshells, so to speak, and had invested interest in Dillian Whyte losing. Frank Warren's one of them. Bob Arum's another. So you can expect this type of behavior from Frank Warren. And, if you noticed, he gave Povetkin credit. Like, yeah, he showed he was a dangerous man and he took him out in style. But at the end of the day, you heard that you didn't hear him say anything about Dillian. So it wasn't really any balance there. It was definitely biased. But of course, and he'll tell you that coming from, the competitive Queensberry, he was happy to see that fighter that's standing in the way of him and a whole lot of money. And when I say him and a whole lot of money, I mean Frank Warren and a whole lot of money, as well as Bob Arum, especially Tyson Fury, and especially Anthony Joshua. So, he is grinning ear to ear if he can, because, he got this little, gesture of a smile. And I think he's generally happy. In fact, he looks about 10 years younger now, if you noticed. You know what I mean? He looked like he's pulling a Benjamin Button. Because he looks very good. You could tell he's in good spirits because of what happened to Dillian Whyte. And he compared Dillian Whyte to Tyson Fury. And, since he went there, I got to go there. Okay, first off, he said, well, yeah, Tyson was hit. Tyson was hit by a shot, and Tyson Fury was down. Now, here's the thing. Here's the difference, okay, between Povetkin hitting Dillian Whyte and Deontay Wilder hitting Tyson Fury. One, they were both in the same position, okay? But what came down to the difference, the true difference, wasn't the levels. No. Hades, no. It wasn't the levels. It was the style of refereeing or the decision of the referee. Jack Reese could have looked at Tyson Fury, seen his eyes look up in the sky to whatever, God, the monitor above, the Showtime logo. He could have saw all that. He could have said, you know what? Let's wave it off. But Jack Reese is not that type of ref. Jack Reese loves to give the benefit of the doubt to each and every fighter. He just didn't do that for Tyson Fury. He's done that many a time because I'm a witness. I've seen it many a times. That's Jack Reese and his style of refereeing. Whereas this particular referee didn't count at all because he seen the condition. He seen the way that Dillian Whyte's head slammed against the canvas, and it was hard. When he hit Dillian Whyte, his eyes went up like that. You couldn't see the way Tyson Fury's eyes were until he hit the canvas. By the way, his head slammed the canvas too. It did. Okay, so who's to say? Yeah, they were, look. At this point, since Frank Warren is comparing Whyte's knockout to Tyson Fury's knockdown of Deontay Wilder in their first fight, it's fair to say, because those guys, and I'm not saying that Dillian Whyte would have made the count. I'm saying that this wasn't a necessary, it was a hard knockout because both of those guys went down the same way, on their back, to their ass, to their back, and then to their head, because their head slammed. Look at Tyson Fury when he went down in the second knockdown ever between those two guys in the first fight. His head slammed up against the canvas. He looked up. He had this stare for about 4 seconds, but he got the satisfaction and got the advantage of getting a count. Okay, I think that's the difference. Dillian Whyte went down, and the referee took it upon himself to stop the fight. It had nothing to do with levels. Okay, and see, you want to talk about Deontay Wilder and his power versus the uppercut of Povetkin. Me personally, I think the kryptonite was the uppercut. As guys, if you guys see my channel, I predicted that he is very weak, or his weakness is uppercuts. You know, Dillian Whyte, Deontay Wilder, and Povetkin. Those guys once upon a time were supposed to fight, but none of those guys have ever fought each other. Okay, none of those guys. So it's hard to talk about levels when none of these guys have fought each other to see what level where they rank amongst each other. Tyson Fury has fought Deontay Wilder. Dillian Whyte has fought Alexander Povetkin. Povetkin has never fought Deontay Wilder. It was in long negotiations. Never fought. Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte, again, never fought. One thing we learned about when new fighters match up, this is what we have. This is what we're supposed to have. So when Frank Warren, again, is talking about levels to this and what Tyson Fury was able to do, Tyson Fury was given the opportunity to redeem himself by hearing a count. That's the only difference, people. Now, of course, is he grinning ear to ear? Yeah, he's happy. Why? Because he doesn't have to worry about the WBC may or may not put pressure on Tyson Fury to fight Whyte, because that's not an issue anymore. So, of course, he's happy, and all Joshua has to do is beat Pulev, and the fight is on. Oh, yeah, Tyson Fury has to beat Deontay Wilder the third time, of course. But after that, if that happens. So we're not in the clear yet. While everyone's skinning and grinning, we're not in the clear yet, people. But anyway, that's my counterpunch on Frank Warren and his boastful singing line. It's all over now. Tell me what you guys think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.